What's going on, guys? It is the Lone Courier here, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about Star Wars Battlefront. Now, I got this game last Christmas. I haven't really played it that much. As you can tell, I am still really low leveled. I think I was around level 10 in this gameplay. Level 12 right now, but I didn't play this game much when I got it for Christmas. And yeah, after getting pretty sick and tired of Black Ops 3, I decided to give this game another go, because I didn't play it that much originally, so I felt like giving it a chance. And, because the DLC came out quite recently for the game. So yeah, Star Wars Battlefront, a lot of people complained about this game when it came out, for pretty good reason, I'm not even gonna lie here. A lot of the reason why people were complaining about this game was the DLC. Now, obviously because it's an EA game, it had a very heavy reliance on DLC. And it costed a lot. Like, this game, it was ridiculous. Personally, I haven't played all of the maps, I haven't played all of the modes, so I don't exactly know how much content is in this game, so I can't really judge it. But from what I've heard there's not as much content as there previously was, and I actually grew up playing the original Star Wars Battlefront games. I was a huge fan of Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. I played it on like the PS2. I also played it quite a lot on like my PSP and whatnot. And yeah, Star Wars Battlefront was without a doubt my favourite game growing up, when I was really young. And it's where I decided I was going to get this game from, my love for that. And honestly, it kind of feels like the old games a little bit. In fact, I'm going to be honest, it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. It's really weird. It feels more like a Battlefield game, to be completely fair with you. And I don't mind that, I don't mind Battlefield. I quite like Battlefield. It's just I never played them. I was more of a Call of Duty fanboy than a Battlefield kind of guy. So, naturally I always played Call of Duty because, I don't know, it's just, as a younger kid, you're more conditioned to be, sort of more a fan of the fast-paced game modes on small maps. Call of Duty, it's more known for having small maps like Nuketown or Shipment, really fast gameplay where you die a lot but you also get a shitload of kills. And then Battlefield was more a game of huge ass maps with a focus on vehicular combat and on foot combat, obviously. And that's where it tied in quite perfectly with the Battlefront series, because Battlefront was very similar to Battlefield in that sense. And this is like a perfect marriage of the two games, Like, a lot of people were complaining originally about the way the game is because, it's more like Battlefield than Battlefront. A lot of people were like, oh, I fucking hate Battlefield, so I think this game is shit. But you know what? I don't really like Battlefield that much. As I said, I don't play it that much. But I feel like this is the perfect game for Battlefront, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really happy with what EA did with the DLC, I don't really like EA as a company. But this is a pretty damn good game, Like, I think the developers were really good with this game. I think it was DICE that made this, the developers of Battlefield. And obviously it was EA that published it. And the shit that's been going on with the game is no different than what's been going on with Call of Duty these past few years, You've got the developers who usually are just trying to make a good game. And then you've got the publishers saying, no, you've got to add in all this content, you've got to cut off this content, you've got to add in all this DLC. It's very similar to how Call of Duty is working right now with Activision. And yeah, this is a pretty good game though, I'm not even gonna lie, I really find it fun, that's the thing, I don't really care about the DLC or anything, as long as I had fun with this game, that's all I cared about, And so far I've had some pretty good fun with this game, I mean, the combat is a little bit hard to get used to at first, because it's very different from what I'm used to with Call of Duty, obviously, where the time to kill, it's ridiculously fast, In the blink of an eye, you're dead. And it's kind of like that in this game a little bit, but, it takes a little bit more skill and a little bit more precision than what Call of Duty requires, In Call of Duty, you rarely ever need to kind of feather the trigger, with your finger, when you're trying to fight someone at long range. You never really need to do that in Call of Duty, because the maps are always that small and the guns have that little accuracy, well, have that little recoil. You can just pretty much spray someone down from across the map, even if it is classed as a high fire rate weapon. But in this game, it sort of requires a little bit more precision, a little bit more accuracy. And I'm not honestly complaining about that or anything, like I completely don't mind the fact that you require a little bit more accuracy in this game, or you need to be a little bit more delicate with the way you try and engage people at long range. I prefer it that way because it kind of makes the game require a little bit more skill than what Call of Duty does, because Obviously in Call of Duty it's just a matter of spraying someone down, and with the connections in Call of Duty, you know how horrible the servers are. It's usually more a test of whoever has the better connection, which is where a lot of the frustrating and bullshit comes from in Call of Duty, you know, because in Call of Duty it's got the whole in-game lag, you know, the engine actually lags purposefully, and it's more of a case of who runs around the corner first, because you can kill someone before they've even seen you walk around the corner. It's been tested and it's been proven before that the lag in the game engine is actually there for Call of Duty. So I don't know if it's there in Battlefront or anything, but like straight up, Battlefront's a lot better of a game than what Call of Duty is. You know, it's like a lot of the things are so much better, especially the weapons. A lot of the weapons are really balanced in comparison to the weapons from Call of Duty, you know, because in Call of Duty you've got some ridiculously OP weapons. You have got some OP weapons in Battlefront, but there's less of them in general. A lot of the weapons are all balanced and they all have their own benefits. Like you get the blasters that have ridiculously high fire rates and low range, so they're not exactly good for long range, and then you've got the blasters that have low fire rate but they are great for long range. So I think they got the balance in terms of weapons spot on in this game. Some of the vehicles in this game, I'm not gonna lie, they are a little bit imbalanced sometimes, but that's just Battlefield terms, you know. If you're used to any of the Battlefield games, some of the vehicles can totally destroy you, especially if you're on foot. And I'm used to that, you know, I completely don't mind it, because I used to play Battlefield sometimes, and that was a thing back in the day in Battlefield, you know, there's all the different games that Battlefield has had. And, you know, some of the vehicles can properly demolish you. It's true in this game, you know, if one of the skilled players has an ATST, then they will completely fuck you up. I remember quite recently, it was just literally half an hour ago I was playing the game, and there's this one guy who completely just sat and spammed the ATST, and that dude, I think he ended up with around 80 kills or something. That's what you can do in this game, and that's something I like about this game, is the matches for this game, you know. And back in the beta it was sheer chaos in the game and it was fun. You know, I liked watching gameplays from YouTubers where they're dropping like 90 kills, because, you know, it's quite fun. You dropped a whole lot of kills and it was a really fast-paced game mode altogether, especially in the beta. It was kind of like that in Black Ops 3, but it's kind of died down now, you know. Everybody kind of camps, you know, there's KDs, you know, everybody plays like a total bitch in Call of Duty these days. But however, on Battlefront, nobody really gives a shit, you know. Everybody just tries to throw themselves out there as quickly as possible and get the most amount of kills, or just do the most in a single game. And I like that. I really like that kind of action in a game. And they've done it perfectly in this game. So I've not really got too many complaints about this game, other than the DLC and stuff like that, you know. I mean, that was a bit of a problem, but, you know, I bought the season pass just so I could get the content for the game. I haven't really touched much of the DLC stuff. One of the maps that was DLC, I think it was free, I could be wrong here, was the Turning Point map. On, I think it was one of the, is based on like a location from The Force Awakens. I can't exactly remember the map's name off the top of my head, or the planet's name off the top of my head right now, because I haven't seen The Force Awakens in so long. But, you know, it was a really fun game. And honestly, as a Star Wars Battlefront game, it's not a letdown. A lot of people were saying that just because of, you know, EA, but it is a really good game. And it may not be as good as the other Battlefronts, but it is definitely worth picking up, especially with the multiplayer being as addictive as it is. Now, one thing I want to talk about is something a lot of people complained, and that is the lack of a campaign or any of the single player modes that there was, or space battles that there was in the original Battlefront games. Because in Battlefront originally, I may be mistaken here, but I think there was, I don't think there was a campaign mode, but there was this mode called Galactic Conquest, and basically you could either play as the Rebels or the Galactic Empire, or there was the one that was set during the Clone Wars. You know, you could play as the Republic, or you could play as the, like, the bad guys. You know, I can't remember their names, the Sith. You could play as those guys, and you could take over the galaxy, and that was awesome. I really did enjoy that. And it was really cool doing that. But it's a bit of a shame that they didn't do that in Battlefront, but to be honest, the multiplayer is that good that I could be happy with just playing the multiplayer side of this game. And to be honest, I don't think Galactic Conquest would be too popular these days anyway. You know, kids these days want multiplayer, and I think a lot of the hardcore Battlefront fans were complaining about it because there's a page on Facebook that I'm subscribed to, Official Xbox Magazine. They posted a lot of articles about this game before it came out, and I saw a lot of comments complaining about it, saying, oh, there's no Galactic Conquest mode, blah blah blah, I'm not going to buy this game just because of that, or there's no space battles, fuck this game. But the truth is, most of the Battlefront players these days only want to play the multiplayer, or if there was Galactic Conquest, they'd play it once or twice and then just jump into PvP and only play that. And I mean, that's what games are nowadays, you know. Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I doubt many people actually played the single player campaign in that game. I think mainly people just stuck to playing the multiplayer, and that's what games are nowadays, you know. No one really cares about single player, everybody wants multiplayer, and that's a bit of a shame because it does, it basically means that a lot of games are cutting out campaigns which they could have had nowadays. You know, Rainbow Six Siege was another one of those games that could have had a campaign and it would have been amazing, but they decided not to because they had the terrorist hunt, and obviously they had the situations which did kind of have a little bit of story to them, but not enough in my opinion. And it was a bit of a letdown, but you know, I guess kids just want multiplayer these days, which is a shame because I like campaigns. You know, it's what I played a lot of back in the day before I had Xbox Live. I was a really big fan of campaigns. I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times I've played the Halo Reach campaign over and over again. You know, I was a big fan of single player stories, and it's a shame that so many games are missing out on them nowadays, or they're just not as good as they used to be. But overall, Battlefront is a good game, and a lot of people are unfairly complaining about it, or were unfairly complaining about it. I think a lot of people that did complain about it have got over it, and they can accept it's an okay game now. I'm not trying to shit on you guys that said that it was a bad game, or complain about it. I'm not trying to, you know, shit on you guys. I mean, I can agree with what you guys think, you know. A lot of you objected to buying the game purely based on the DLC, and I respect that. I respect that kind of, you know, it's really admirable that someone can just say, oh, I'm not going to buy this game because of how the DLC is. You know, that's admirable because it's a really good game, and people have just went, nope, I'm not going to play it because of how the deal is with the game. So that is pretty cool that people can do that. You know, I don't have that kind of self-control personally, but it's cool that other people have. So yeah, Battlefront, it's a good game. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the best game ever, but it is a really good Battlefront game. And it's still a lot better than most of the FPSs that are out there these days. It's a lot better than Black Ops 3, and it's a shame that not as many people play it as who play Black Ops 3, because this is way better in every single way. And I feel like a lot of people that don't like Black Ops 3 would probably like this game, you know, because it doesn't have any of the bullshit that's in Black Ops 3, but it does, but you know, it's not got like fucking supply drops or anything like that, you know, it's just pure gameplay, which is what I really do enjoy. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. It's been the Lone Courier, and I may post a Battlefront gameplay tomorrow. Probably not going to be about Battlefront, but it will have some Battlefront gameplay in there. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.